once again, Mikhail Burden seemed to be the difference in tonight's game.
Well, he played really well, that's for sure. The shot clock doesn't look good. But we track the scoring chances, and it's the chances are 18-21 in their favor. The shot clock, you see a different story, but the real chances are 18-21. So what we're doing is right now we need to find a way to take some chances away, but mainly some shots away, because we're doing a good job on second and third chances. We jump on the rebounds, and Birdie's doing a good job at stopping that first shot. There's still too many shots, that's for sure. And he's been a key player for us since we started to win hockey games. But our D are doing a good job, and our forwards are doing a good job at taking away the second and third chances.
Speaking of your forwards, you don't often see a lot of consistency in the AHL, but your first line has managed to stay together. And what have you seen from Chibisov, Harkins, and Griffith?
We don't have a first line. We have four lines, Dave. Come on. You know what? The chemistry is there. We tried them because we liked what they were doing individually, so we brought them together. And you know, you look at them after practices and they work on little stuff together, so it's building chemistry, and it takes time. So we're going to keep them together as long as we can.
What have you seen specifically from Andrei Chibisov? Seems to be mixing it up, and you know, the guys were talking about how difficult he is to get off that puck.
Well, he's a man out there. He's a big beast. He's really strong. He spends a lot of time in the gym, and he spends a lot of time. We have to get him off the ice and after practices. He loves playing hockey. He loves training. He's already a big man, but he's really, really strong. So it's hard for opponents to get pucks away from him because he's good at protecting pucks, and he's getting much better at understanding the systems. It's still some kind of an issue to communicate with him, but we're trying to translate everything into his language in Russian on paper. So, and he's quite visual. He's asking questions through Burden, so there's some sort of communication. But his individual play has been outstanding.
You know, often your record is necessarily an indication of what your team looks like. So when you guys were 1-7, you might not have necessarily been a 1-7 hockey team, but still, that it was your record, and now you fought back. You've won 7 of your last 8, 5 in a row. You're an 8-8 team. So what have you seen from your team over this past stretch?
Well, you know, there's Craig Heisinger told me this when we were 1-7. He said we're never as bad. We're not as bad as the record shows. Some games we could have won, we didn't, and some of those games that we've won maybe could have lost. So you're never as bad as you think you are, or you're never as good as you think you are. And we're winning games right now. We're doing a lot of good things. There's a lot of things we need to improve.
Jonathan Harkins talked about Andrei Chibisov's kind of aura in the locker room and just his presence over the last little bit. Obviously, his play's been great, but what have you noticed about him off the ice and just the way that he's adapted and such?
Well, Jensen Harkins is explaining exactly how we feel about Shibby. He's got a big smile on his face. He loves being at the rink. The guys have some ceremonies after a game, and player of the game gets something. And one game, Chibi got the player of the game from the players, and Burden was translating what he was saying, and he was saying we're a team here. We work together. We're a team, and this group is a nice group, and I love being here. So, you know what, his attitude has been amazing. He wants to learn. He's pushing himself. He's extremely low maintenance. I guess part of it is because I can't talk to him. But he's been his attitude is he's that kind of guy that his body language is so positive that you understand how he feels.
Well, so with that, I mean, that must be one of the best things that you could possibly hear, that this guy, you know, European free agent coming over trying to test the waters, is okay and really adapting and accepting of this process in the AHL.
Yeah, well, he started, I mean, he had, everything was new for him at camp with the Jets, and he was decent at the camp, but there was a lot of issues with understanding the systems and how this game is played. There's a big difference between the KHL and
sure.
the National League or the American League. So, and he started on the third line, and then he's moving up slowly on different lines. having more of a role, offensive role, but his attitude. Marty Johnston is spending a lot of time with him, showing him video and stuff, and he's really receptive. He's an older guy, but you're right. For him to be coachable like he is right now, it's quite amazing.
Jansen Harkins, obviously, we've talked about it quite a bit. He's now, I believe, top 5 or top 10 scorer right now in the entire league. How beneficial do you think it was in those first couple of years that he had, with you guys, even went to ECHL at some point, in terms of building adversity and the character that you need to, eventually go to that top level?
So everybody has a different path, and Jensen came out of junior. He was drafted as a center. We played him. We had no room in the middle. He learned the game as a winger, but we knew he could play center, and we knew that when we could get or have an opportunity to play him as a center, we would try him, and he's been taking advantage of his chances. I mean, this is a guy who's been working hard. There's one thing I know about Jansen Harkins is he's really intense in the gym. He's really intense in the practices. He takes his game very, very seriously. And over the years, we had a lot of meetings, him and Marty Johnston working together as well. But at the end of the day, he took responsibility for his game and his conditioning. And you can tell, there's no way a player can spend so much time in the gym and working on his at getting better on and off the ice. At some point, it's not going to pay off, and it's paying off right now. I'm really happy for him.
That first game this season against Texas, I believe, he was probably the best player on the ice. When you were in training camp, though, from the onset, could you notice, there's a real difference in him, or is it once the games got rolling that you saw, well, we could have a player taking a huge step here?
Well, we were hoping at camp, but we didn't know. There's no way we could have predicted that. So it was. We knew that, in our league, there's such a big turnover in players. We knew that at some point he would get a chance to play a bigger role, an offensive role, and it was a matter for him to take advantage of that chance, and he did. So, but if I could tell you, yes, I saw it, but it's not true. We were hoping that he would. He's an early pick, and we've been working with him for a while, and we see how intense he is in the gym and stuff, and but at the end of the day, you can only open the door and give him the chance, and he took advantage of it.